Peace and love. What's going on? What's up? What's up? How are you doing today? Peace, right? Today, we're gonna have a nice talk today. Today, we're gonna dive into whose world is this? Famous Nas, because the world is yours. The world is yours. The world is yours. What's yours is yours is yours. Whose world is this? Right? So, we're gonna get into that today. Why is this world yours? Talking about the holographic universe a little bit today. We're gonna get after it, right? So, how do you know this is your world? How do you know this is your world? Alright, the easiest way that I can show you that the world is yours and that you have every single bit of power within this reality is the fact that everyone's had a moment in their life where they've thought about someone and then that person has contacted them shortly after. And I'm gonna say that again. The way that you know you and this is your reality and everything that you see is a reflection of you is the fact that everyone's had a time in their life where they have thought about someone and that person has then reached out to them randomly. That's how you know everything around you is you, if there's no other way to put it. The simplest way to see that representation. You create people and bring them into your world by just thinking about them. Isn't that a crazy notion? That I could sit down, some people, like I did this shit the other day. I did shit yesterday, to be honest with you. I was sitting there and I was like, damn, I haven't heard from this person in a while. Literally, a few hours later, I got a text from them. Hey, what's up? I was sitting there like, god damn, this is my freaking world. Peace. What's up, reflection? Right? This is your world. And if no other thing proves to you that this is your world, it's those moments where you think about someone and then they come into your world. Right? So, with that being said, this is you.com. Everyone's heard that shit. This is you.com. It is you.com. Right? It has to be. Because everything that you're seeing is a reflection of you. Everything that you see is what you put there for you to see. Because every single person is teaching you something in a million different ways, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So you have no excuse. You have no excuse in this world anymore, right? No person has any excuse to not be happy and be everything that they love, right? You have no excuse because you create the shit. You create the shit. You could think about someone and then they hit you up. So you create the shit. No one creates it but you. That's just one crazy way to just simplify it for everyone. Because I was just thinking about what's the one way to prove to people that this world, everything is inside of them. What's the way to prove to you that everything that you see is internal? Well, it's the fact that once internally you want to bring someone into your reality, they come into your reality. When you want something and you just make the intention that you want it and then never worried about it again, you get it. But it's when you worry about it and try and figure out how it's going to get there, it always messes it up. Right? You ever had a time where you're like, I remember one time I was like, yo, I want some spelt bread. Literally, I just thinking, I was down to my Dr. Sebi stuff. I was like, I want some spelt bread, man. I haven't found spelt bread. I just want spelt bread. Wouldn't you know, later on that day, someone came by and was like, oh, I heard you were on the alkaline diet. I saw some spelt bread. I picked it up for you. What? What? And I was sitting there looking at that like, what a coincidence, right? We use these spells to try and like get people off the fact and stop them from realizing that they're God. So I'm going to keep you from realizing just how much power you have by creating something called coincidence and chance, right? If this was all based on coincidence and chance, people would be being born with noses coming out their foreheads more regularly. I'd have like an eye on my chin, right? Because that's saying that all this shit is chance. But the fact that there's a definite process to the way everything goes down around you, and that if I have the will to do something, there's a way, right? We look at these words like there's a will, there's a way, with these like notions, all these different things, because you have free will. You have free will to will into your reality anything that you want, as long as you will it and don't question it, right? If I will something, right? So like God said, let there be light. He willed that, right? He didn't then say, but in order to create light, I got to do this. I said, nah, he just said, bro, there's going to be light, and it was light. It was light, right? Like that time that you, like I said I wanted spell bread, there was spell bread. I didn't have to do anything else. All I had to say that there was going to be spell bread. I was going to get spell bread. And spell bread came into my reality. Now, that's a small portion of something. And that's the problem with like these little things. Like we see little things. We will little things into our existence all the time. But when we get to bigger topics, when we get to bigger notions, we get to bigger understandings, because they're a lot bigger, we don't spend enough time in our inner verse, inside, creating it, so that when we will it, we question it, how it's done. So we don't will it, we will it before we're ready for it. We try and set the intent before we got the understanding, right? So if I want to set my intention for something, and I want to intent and put something into my world, I gotta first be able to visualize it before I say I want it first, right? Like that's like saying like you want someone to love before you love yourself. That's why we had it backwards, right? I can't want someone to love until I love myself, or I'm not going to be able to love them. Same thing goes for your reality, right? You can't will something into your reality before you're ready for that thing to become fabricated and become manifested into your reality. So when we do that, we waste our intent, right? Because we'll try and bring it into the universe, but then we second guess ourselves because we're not ready, and we know we're not ready. So we can't possibly accept it and purely accept it if we're not ready for it to manifest, right? So the easiest way to prove that this reality is yours is when you think about someone, when you want something, right? When you want something that you know you can have, you will it right into your reality because you know how to go about it and do it. Now, the way to really start to master that shit, and the way to really start getting crazy, start messing with the unseen stuff. Start trying to bring people into your reality. Start trying to bring things that you might not be able to afford, we'll say afford, right? Or something like that into your reality just by willing it. See how long it takes to manifest. Practice your manifestations. Try and manifest a certain car in the day when you wake up. Say, yo, I'm going to see this color, this model, this make today. And then never question it again, and see how long until you see that exact car. That should tell you how quickly and how good you're getting at this manifestation game, right? The faster that you could do that, that tells you how in tune you are in your universe, in your reality, with what's going on. How quickly you can manifest things. What's the turnaround on your manifestation? There are some people who manifest things like this, right? You see those people all the time, right? They just bring shit into their life all day, but most of them aren't even conscious that they're manifesting. That's why they do it so well. See, for the people who have trouble manifesting things, you got to try and break it down a little more, right? You got to try and come to like different agreements within yourself to really create a manifestation. So that's what the occult knowledge is for. The occult knowledge is really for the people who have the trouble with the manifestation process, because that's all based on your astrology and all your energies and things like that you're perceiving in front of you. Because a lot of things can be coming into your universe that deter you, right? Like, I'm trying to go down to Costa Rica. Well, I am going to Costa Rica. I'm sorry, me doing that is me improperly showing you guys manifestation. That's a baddie, right? But I'm going to Costa Rica and I'm gonna be starting this village. But wouldn't you know that ever since I said that, every person that comes into my life always talks to me about the problems with me doing that. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to break me off my manifestation and second guess the fact that I'm gonna have this. But I know I'm gonna have it. It's just a matter of when I'm gonna have it. But I know it's coming. I can always feel it coming, because there's always positive affirmations of that. There's always synchronicities that come up that show me that I'm gonna get there. You ever think about something, and then when you stop thinking about it, you look at a clock and you see like a synchronicity on the clock or a specific time, right? That's telling you that whatever you're thinking about, you're properly aligned at the moment, right? But we don't like looking at omens like that. We don't like, again, people get too weirded out in our society because we want to believe in coincidences and luck, right? You don't ever want to believe in coincidences and luck because nothing shows you that there's really coincidences and luck going on, right? Nature is very mathematical. If we know about the phi ratio, we know that even like the way you're broken down as a human being is a ratio. you grow at a certain ratio. That's why when people argue about flat earth and all that, I can't really pay attention, because if we know about the phi ratio, we know that a sphere, which would our planets are then the perfect ratio. It's a sphere. But anyway, that's why life can be inhabited on top of it. But these are all different notions that not everyone could really jump on just yet. But when we talk about just the basic notion of manifestation is willing. That's exercising your free will, right? Free will. When you read the Bible, you're supposed to read that in the first person, right? When you read that shit, you're supposed to say, oh shit, he said let there be light, because he just said it and he knew it was going to happen, because he's a creator. Just like us as human beings, we're all creators in all different realms of our reality. We can create all different kind of things. But once you start to second guess your creative ability, that's when you destroy your creation, right? An artist who makes a fantastic piece of work, or any kind of beautiful art, they never second guess their creation. They just go at it. They manifest it and then they make it happen, right? And that's how it has to work with you, right? You, right? You.com. So my manifestation of anything, first it just starts in my mind. I gotta create it. I gotta be able to envision it, right? Then once I will it, I just have to follow the path of how I created it in my mind. If there were certain things that I had to do in order to make that happen, like the holistic village, I have to be able to have a certain holistic knowledge about health. I have to be able to have a certain knowledge about nutrition. I have to be able to have a certain knowledge about the psychological breakdown of people, of astrology, of all these different things, in order to be able to put an idea like this together. So, and part of my manifestation is learning these things. And the more that I learn these things, the more that I'm able to bring earth and bring actual grip and realness to that manifestation that I put in my mind, by backing it with the knowledge that would help me get to that end point. So now as I keep walking along the path of my manifestation, it's coming in a lot of different ways, and I'm seeing a lot of different beings come in and out of my life that are showing me either how to do it or making me fight through a certain wall. Peace and love, right? Because you have to break through barriers, right? Because there are all different kind of barriers that come up whenever you manifest, because no one's ever going to let you have, right, anything that you want without working for it. Your mind would never do that to you, because your mind needs to know that you're ready for it, right? Just like anything in life, just like you weren't able to graduate and move on to the next grade in school until you showed that you were good and you are ready at this level, right? So that's just how everything moves, right? And that's why you have things that come into your life. And if you don't be mindful of the things that come into your life, and the things that might and the different scenarios that replay themselves over and over again. If you have a scenario with a person, with anything like that, a confrontation that comes up more than once, it's because you're supposed to learn something from that type of confrontation, from that scenario, right? And you're supposed to get better. And once you get better and learn how to handle that situation, you move on and you usually never see that situation again. However, the problem that we have, right, is we don't always sit back and look at what the situation is and what the lesson was, right? Like I try and teach people all the time. There's no real bad information. There's no bad experiences and things of that nature. It's the way you play out and what plays out after it that determines how bad it was. If it's bad, that means that it made you take regression steps, right? So if I have a situation that presents itself in front of me, and at the moment, hold up one second, this car, ooh, right? If I have a situation that plays itself in front of me, and at the moment it's bad, right? At the moment it might hurt, at the moment it's stressful. However, after I gain a huge bit of wisdom from that situation, right, and it allows me to move myself forward, was that in a sense a bad situation? No, it might have been something tough. However, because you were able to apply the right knowledge to it and get the proper wisdom from it, it only propelled you forward, right? That goes on in life. There's an information and all these different things that go on. We got to be more objective, and once we're more objective, we're able to learn these intricate lessons, because there's a lot of intricate lessons that show themselves in front of you all the time, right? Like when I look at my astrological energy, right, it says I want to be a nurturer, right? I talk about this with people a good amount, right? So a lot of people who come into my life always need some kind of help, right? Or they're coming at me with like some stress they have or things of this nature. So in order to learn how to deal with these things, I gotta be more objective and see that these are types of beings that I'm gonna bring into my life more often and more frequently than not. Now, if I was someone who was trying to dominate and like kill it in this realm of reality and make a lot of money and do all this kind of stuff, I would just line myself up with my energy by becoming a psychologist, something of that nature, where then people who are automatically doing this to me anyway would just now come with money. However, I see the flaws in that system, so I'm trying to jump up over that. That's why the holistic village is coming into play, so we don't have to charge people anymore for health. We know too much about health. We're not going to be charging people anymore for health. If you can come to the village, you get healed, right? That's why only my light workers will really understand where I'm at with that type of thing. Most people keep getting caught up in that money game with me, but I'm not worried about that too much. Anyway, so where I'm saying is back to facts, back to objectivity, back to there's no such thing as a good or a bad situation. How does this work in manifestation, right? How does this tell you that the world is yours and that reality is just your perception on it, right? There's no such thing as a bad stat. The other day I posted again a stat that said that 85% of hurricanes fall along a path that was taken in the transatlantic slave route. Now, if you look at that stat, there's no real subjectivity to it. It's just a scientific fact, right? That just happens to fall into this path. Now, what you add onto it as far as a feeling subject matter, right? That comes from the observer of it, right? So what I'm saying is there's no good or bad information, there's no good or bad experience, but all of it is supposed to be used to make you take a step forward, right? So within your manifestation games, right, when everyone's trying to manifest different things, whether you're trying to create a job, manifest a partner, manifest a car, anything like that, there are going to be things that come up in front of you as roadblocks / lessons, right? So within these roadblocks / lessons, you're going to have to be able to take them and make your steps forward. You're going to have to be able to understand and comprehend what is this lesson that is coming from this roadblock. Now, roadblocks come in the form as people sometimes, places, things, all of these different things, right? But you got to be able to sit back and take the objectivity away from what that block is and figure out how to move forward and use it to your advantage, right? Because just like me, while I'm taking this journey right now, there's some beings that come at me with about my philosophical understanding of things, my biological understanding of things of that nature. But those things come to me so that I can refine myself even better to understand what these things are, right? If I was someone if I was to look at these things negative, it would deter me from my path. However, once someone piques me with a question or some kind of information, something like that, if I accept it and look at it objectively, they're trying to push me better. They're trying to push me further. They're trying to forward my understanding in this topic, right? They're trying to forward my understanding in the philosophical and the psychological, right? They're trying to push me forward. So if I just keep my eyes set on what I'm trying to do, and you look at everything as a stepping stone in a sense, not in a bad way. Again, when you say stepping stone, it's not to step on anyone, because everyone's on the same mission, right? We're all trying to elevate. We're all trying to pull people up. However, within that, you're going to meet some people along your journey, right, that aren't walking exactly the same path as you. Now, it's your job to understand who those people are and only give them as much information as necessary, right? You don't want to over belabor it. You don't want to feed too much into it, because then that's feeding into it and that's taking out of you, right? Because within what you're doing, you need a lot of energy, right? When you manifest, you need energy. You got to be focused on what you're trying to do. I'm focused on having a holistic village down in Costa Rica. I'm focused on that. I'm focused and already thinking about all the people that will be helping. I'm focused on that. I know how many people are going to be able to go there and get healed and be around beings that are like-minded just like themselves. I'm focused. So all the other things that come with that, I don't really pay too much mind to it, right? Because you got some people who get in and they want to deter you, right? They want to scare you off with ideas like this. And that's the biggest thing that you find, is they want to use all these different words and spells to try and come in and deter you, right? I had some people coming at me and saying yo, he's you're trying to what, you're in a cult? Are you a cult member? People saying this, using this cult word, and that's that's a weird thing when you look at it too, in a sense, right? Because if we look at culture is really just a bunch of people moving around in different cults. I look at people who go to country concerts and I see them as a cult. To be honest with you, they're a bunch of people from the middle of the city who put on boots and all dressed the same exact way to go see a concert. That's a cult movement right there. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to call this definition, right? But I deal in occult knowledge and understanding. So when we talk about these different things, I'm just talking about people who are really trying to learn how to do positive things, make positive manifestations, and understand the people around them, trying to help them. If you look at anything that I'm doing, all I come at people with is information, knowledge, and objectivity. I don't really come at people with any of that other noise. So the stuff that people want to talk about and bring into your reality, that just shows where they're at, not where you at, in a simple sense, right? Because if you look at my page, you look at my stripes, I'm only coming for the good and betterment of people, right? I'm only coming with health. So anyone who comes with me with anything but that is a lot of things that I don't really resonate with, right? So we have to start looking at what's being said and stop looking at what the filter is that's giving us the information, because a lot of the time right now we're getting a lot of bad information from good filters, right? You go on the news, if I watch Good Morning America every morning, they're telling me to eat bacon and eggs and all that shit still, but then I go and watch What the Health and I'm finding out that's leading to cancer, but they look good, right? So that's a good filter giving me bad information. But once you get a filter that might look a little bit dirty or rusty, right, even if it's giving good information, people got a problem with it. It's kind of scary in a certain extent, but you just got to be mindful, right? That's why I like to be objective. I just sit in back and I'm objective about things, and I think that people need to start taking more objective roles, right? And we have to learn about and worry about what's going on within our own selves first, right? The only reason that I can talk about health of others, like health of self, health of mentality, because I know that right now I'm mentally stable. Like, I'm physically healthy, and I'll put that to the test if anyone wants to put that to the test with me, because I have people who do that, right? I have people right now, like I put up a post the other day. I had someone that I helped, and I healed all they had this gastrointestinal problems. They're having trouble sleeping, all that. I put them on a nutritional plan, and it helped them out. They cleared them out. They were in a better place after that. But wouldn't you know, the first time I post something that they didn't agree with, they started to try and come at me and lash me in public instead of coming and texting me first. Then just to apologize because they misinterpreted what it was that what I posted. Can you believe something like that? See, it's always the people who you help and the people who you may seem to be the closest to you who are the first to come and lash you about things at times, right? Because it comes out of misunderstanding. You see that there might have been a jealousy, there might have been something going on behind the scenes with them. However, when you're along your journey and you're trying to manifest things and you're trying to create a future that aligns with the things that you want, you gotta stay tight. You gotta stay tough, and you gotta keep your eye on the prize, right? And you gotta remember that when you're along a journey, things are gonna always try and break you from where you're trying to go. That's the problem. No matter what religion you look at, right? You can look at any religion, you look at prophets in any religion. All the prophets in religions had to detach from everyone, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm a prophet in any sense, but these were all strong-minded people trying to move towards a goal that other people didn't really believe in. You could say that for anyone who's starting a business that people might not believe in, people who are trying to live a lifestyle people don't believe in, anything like that, right? You look at the dude who you look at Mark Zuckerberg. Sorry, I don't really mess with him, but you look at Mark Zuckerberg, and people were thinking he was crazy, thinking he was all this, but he had to stay airtight on the goal that he was at and knew that he could manifest something major. Now, at the end of the day, whatever people want to say about who he's affiliated with, all that kind of stuff, that's just some nonsense. But you see that in every single realm of reality, every different perspective. Whenever you're trying to manifest a goal, whenever you're trying to create something that's off the beaten path from the general public, right? People are always going to try and come and deter you from your goal. However, there's so many different examples in our society of the fact that if you believe in it enough and all you do is move in it and you never question yourself, you move with unbearing faith, you'll achieve your goals, right? The only time that people don't achieve their goals is when they let other people remove them from their goals and stop them from reaching the place that they want to reach. Because no one says that it's going to happen exactly when you want it, but you're always going to get it at some point. If you put the work in, you always receive the reward, or the universe wouldn't work, right? If you couldn't will things into the existence, like by just sheer will and belief, things wouldn't happen. Like, the world wouldn't be able to work, right? It's a law of reality that you will things into existence. It's just a law. It's a law. Or no one would be able to eat. If you couldn't will anything into reality, you wouldn't be able to eat all day, right? But we just don't like to be able to, we get uncomfortable with the magnitude of thought. The bigger the thought is, the more nervous we get, the more skeptical people are of us. So the more we question our ability to manifest at greater levels. No, no, no. You should look at going to your fridge and grabbing an apple the same way that you should think about manifesting your next reality, manifesting a home, manifesting a job, manifesting anything you want, a lover. It should be no different than the steps you take to get the fruit out of your refrigerator. Because in a sense, this is your world. Whose world is this? The world is yours. All you've ever seen is the world through your own eyes. All you've ever seen is every single perspective through your perspective, right? Other people can give you their perspective. They're always trying to do it. However, it's on you to choose whether you accept that perspective or not. So that just tells you this world is yours. No one else can control this place but you. The holographic universe says that I see everything in my mind, right? Everything is a refraction of light inside of my head. Literally. So everything that I see, my perspective on everything is just based on me. Has nothing to do with anything outside of me. It's all me. It's me.com. So if I want to do something, it's based on what I have here. It's not based on the things that go on around me. Those things are just detriments from what I'm trying to do. Those are people dealing with their own views on things, their own perspective, their own holographic universe. Your universe is yours. It's particular to you. That's why you always bring certain things into your universe often. Has anyone ever, that's why when you start doing your astrology, it seems even crazier, right? Most of the females I bring into my life, as far as females that want to date me and do things like this, they're usually either a Cancer moon or sun sign. Every single time. Every time. Every time. Because my Cancer and Mars are both in Cancer. My moon and Mars are both in Cancer. So when I'm properly articulating myself and working on these things, I'm going to draw in a Cancer. When I'm properly working in my fields and things of that nature, I'm going to draw a Cancer towards me when I'm aligning myself properly with my astrological energy. So I understand these things, right? So that's why when they say that, they don't want you to know astrology, all these religions and stuff, they scare you away from these knowledges, because you'll start to see that you bring a lot of the similar people into your life based on your perspective of these fragmentations of light, based on the way you view these different light particles, light waves, right? But anyway, this is your world, right? This is your world. If you're watching this right now, you know that this is your world. And if you didn't know, now you're starting to understand, right? Sit back and think about that last time you thought about someone and then they texted your phone. What does that tell you? That tells you this is all you.com. This is you.com. If I thought about you 2 days ago and you texted me today, you texted me because I thought about you. That is crazy. The fact that you can't even acknowledge, we do that happens to us all the time, and we don't acknowledge just how strange of a thing that is, right? We can't just sit back and go, damn, there might be a little bit something more to this than I think. This happens to me all the time. If I think about someone, they text me. There's something that's to be said, something that needs to be understood further than the top layer, right? When you stop thinking about coincidence. Coincidence is if something was to happen randomly one time and never happened again. But if you do something and it happens frequently, right? Because a lot of times people who that stuff happens to, it happens to more than just here and there, right? If that's happening to you frequently, you have to start to question what your view of reality is. You have to start to question what it is that the rules are that govern what you're doing, right? You have to start to question these things. They turn for it happens to me all the time. Yeah, it's called the holographic universe. It is your world. You are God, right? You are the God of your reality. So when you want it, it comes premeditated. Premeditate. No, well, premeditate is when I think about something before it happens. If I'm envisioning something, right? That's in a sense that's in a sense manifesting something, premeditating something like that. You could say that as well, right? But if I'm just putting my attention, sometimes it just is a thought, right? You ever had a thought yo, I miss someone, or you have a dream, right? All of a sudden they hit you up the next day, right? That just tells you that your thought frequency, exactly, your thoughts equal your life. Facts. That's what Your thought frequency was sent out into the universe, into your universe, your innerverse, right? So once I sent my thought frequency into my innerverse, it's gonna bring something back out, right? Because how do we see? We see because light travels into our eyes, into the back of our head, and then we project it back out into our reality, right? So just like when you think about envision someone, you're envisioning them. However, you're not envisioning them through the portals externally. You're doing it inside and then pushing it out. So you're cutting out the need to bring it in first and go out. You know what I mean? So like if I'm visioning something, right? Just like when you create your lover, you create your job, you create a car, right? You close your eyes and you picture yourself in the car, right? You picture yourself going to the car, opening the door and getting in. Then you create it and push it back into your reality. And you do the actions that you needed to do within your innerverse to create that outerverse, right? That's why we need to keep it positive. Always keep it positive, right? Because the more that I put out love, right, and I take love in and I see love in everyone else. That's why I say I love myself and I love you all, because I love myself, and you guys are reflections of me. Because if I always see you as a reflection of me and I love myself, no matter what you do, I'm gonna take the love out of it. That's why when people have been coming at me with a lot of negativity lately, I've been able to just see the positivity in it, because I see that they're teaching me a lesson. So I'm thankful to them. I'm grateful when people are coming, because a lot of times, like if in my old self, I'd probably be very upset with some of these things, but I've been really working on this thing. Like I've been really working on this thing for a bit, and now it's even coming to more fruition because I'm getting to see the fruits of the manifestation faster. That's how I know I'm getting better at it. Things aren't slowing down. I'm able to manifest things into my reality far quicker, because I know I've been cutting out a lot of the insulation, aka my negative thoughts have been moving out with a lot of stuff. So when this happens, right, when you start to understand this, and when you start to understand that everyone's a reflection of you, right, you can see the beauty in the things that they do. You see the lessons, the intricate little lessons and things that they're showing you about themselves, but really about you. Because you, like, it's crazy when you see some of these old things. You see people who come at you with some of these viewpoints. It'll show you a viewpoint that you might have had at one time in your life, and that can help you get over it for something that you move on in the future. To hear that you articulate your perception, of course. Now, manifestation. Whose world is this? The world is yours, right? The world is yours. See beauty in yourself and love yourself, and you'll only project it out into the reality in front of you. All you'll do is be love for others. And that's the amazing thing about this world. That's the amazing thing about this reality. That's the amazing thing about what we have here as mechanisms in the human body, in a sense. You're just one big electromagnetic orb, right? And it's all what you choose to put your energy into. So be mindful. Be mindful what you put your energy into. The world is yours, so know what you're manifesting. If you're bringing a lot of bad things into your life, you might be spewing a lot of bad things out, right? You might be talking negatively about a lot of people. You might be looking down on people. You might have some kind of vision in your life you might think you're better than a lot of the people around you. So your reality is only going to bring you people that are better than you, to help you to understand that you need to humble yourself down a little bit. You might look at your reality and start seeing that there are certain people out there that are doing harm to you, or trying to bring harm to you because you're doing harm to other people in a different way. You might be talking negatively behind someone's back. So in order for your reality to teach you, they're doing it to your face, so that you stop doing it in a different way. So you gotta remember that within all of these different levels, with all this different changes that you're going through, you're going to be getting tested. And your manifestation and what you're trying to create as a reality, you're going to get tested, right? Because you might not want to be having a village in Costa Rica to heal people. That might not be your manifestation. That's my manifestation. So within my path to create that, I'm going to be dealing with a different set of people that are going to be deterring me from what I'm trying to do than you are, right? You might be trying to be a rapper. You might be trying to be like, I don't know, you might be trying to get a Bentley. You might be trying to, not saying that you should do any of those things, because I don't condone like consumerism and things like that, but I'm just saying, just for all the people who are out there. I'm not just trying to focus this directly at light workers. Most light workers and people who are chosen, they understand this, so I don't gotta speak to you, but I'm speaking to the general population, to the GP, right? So if you're trying to get a Bentley, right, what's the first thing people do if you try and tell them that you want a Bentley? They're going to tell you that you can't have a Bentley, right? So automatically they're going to make you question what you wanted, right, and make you step away from what you're trying to do, your goal, right? But if you just never really pay attention, you just keep moving, you're gonna do, and you really vision it, like not just say it, but you really envision it and envision how to do it, then set your intent, you'll be able to see the steps that you need to go through to get that goal, right? Like I wanted to go, when I was younger, I was like, I gotta go to school, I gotta get a scholarship to go to college, right? So how do you get a scholarship to go to college? I knew I had to be a good athlete. Being a good athlete, being a good basketball player was going to help me to become a better athlete and be able to get a scholarship to go to college. So what did I do? I would envision it, I saw it, and I would watch people that were doing it. They were practicing, they were doing all these different things to get their body right, mind right, all that stuff. So all I did was just start to do those things myself, get into those rituals, and then I was able to manifest that thing at the end of the day. So if you ever did anything like that, you know this world is yours. You can manifest anything you want. It's just about having the intent and then making the steps to manifest it, right? But some people haven't really had a lot of positive affirmation. They haven't had a lot of positive reflection back in order to see that you can do that this world is yours. Understand the holographic universe. Once you jump in and understand the holographic universe, it comes a lot more easier for people. You get to see exactly what it is, because we understand some of the biology of this mechanism, this vessel we have, but to try and really break it down to how we see fragments of life and how we and how we change these perceptives and how we perceive just everything in general, you'll start to see that this is your world. All the way down to it, to the people that you bring in certain people to show you certain things about yourself. But that was a quick one. I haven't gone in on the holographic universe, but I've been thinking about having a chat about it with my reflections for a little bit, so I figured today would be a good day. But I hope you guys are all having a beautiful day today. No problem, my man. I'm grateful to have you in the room, right? But I hope you guys are having a great day, and yeah, just enjoy this sun, man. Enjoying the sun for a little bit. But I love you all, and I love myself. Have a great day.